Right, so we have been given 4x cubed minus 2x squared minus 2x plus 9, all divided by 2x plus 3, and we actually need to prepare a solution to these using the box method of division. So we need to perform polynomial division. Okay, so we proceed as follows. Right, the solution to this particular question is prepared in the following manner. So what we do here is we write here 4x cubed. This one here. And we consider now the divisor to x here. Right, so here we write 2x and plus 3 and plus 3. So we write here the 2x and the plus 3. We divide 4x cubed by 2x, and we get exactly 2x squared. We multiply 2x by 2x squared. That is 2x by 2x squared. We get 4x cubed. 3 by 2x squared. We get exactly 6x squared. Now what we do is we look at the diagonal entries here, and we then say, to obtain minus 2x squared, what can you add to 6x squared? We can only subtract 8x squared, okay? Because 6x squared minus 8x squared is minus 2x squared, okay? So we take the minus 8x squared, we divide by 2x, and we get exactly minus 4x, like so. We take 2x, we multiply by minus 4x to get minus 8x squared. 3 by minus 4 gives us minus 12x. Okay, now looking at the linear terms here, we want to add a term here to minus 12 to get minus 2x, and we can only add 10x. 10x, so we sort of add 10x. We now take the 10x, we divide by 2x, we get exactly 5, like so. 2x by 5 is 10x, 3 by 5 is 15. So now what do? We look also at the fact that we have a 9 here. 9 here. So what do we add to the 15 so that we get a 9? We need to subtract a 6. And so this is the remainder here. Now, as a consequence, then, what is the answer to this? So if we perform this polynomial division, the quotient is what sits at the top. So the quotient becomes exactly twice x squared minus 4x plus 5, and then we consider the remainder, okay, plus the remainder. The remainder is exactly minus 6 divided by the divisor, which is 2x plus 3. Now, a couple of things here remain extremely important, but it's critically important to note that as we perform the polynomial division, the size of this box is justified by the following. So if you're taking x cubed, okay, taking now just only the x cubed, ignoring the 4, we divide that by x, okay, and the quotient therefore becomes quadratic. X squared, which is ax squared plus bx plus c, like this, okay? So this means a couple of things, but what it means is that here at the top, we will actually have to create specific columns, and the columns are for the quadratic ax squared term, for the bx term, also for the c, okay? And therefore the last block becomes a remainder term. Now these two rows are justified by the fact that the 2x needs its own row and the 3 needs its own row. And we have performed the division, and this is the result. Okay, we proceed now to the next question. We have 8x to the 4th power right? Minus 2x cubed minus x squared plus x plus 2 divided by 2x squared plus x minus 3. All right, and so now we need to perform the polynomial division. A couple of things are extremely important for us to consider. We take the 8x to the fourth power and we write it down. So we write here exactly 8x to the fourth power. So we just drop it down and we place it here. Okay, next, what do? We consider the divisor. What is the divisor? So we write here 2x squared. Next, x. Next, minus 3. So if we have the 8x to the fourth power divided by 2x squared, what do we get? We get exactly 4x squared. That is, if we say 8x to the fourth power divided by 2x squared, we get 4x squared. Right, so to check if this is correct, so you multiply the 2x squared by 4x squared, you get 8x to the fourth power. X by 4x squared is exactly 4x cubed, minus 3 by 4x squared gives us minus 12x squared, like so. Okay, now the next thing we do is we look at the diagonal entries. So we look at these an x cubed here, and now what can we add therefore to 4x cubed so that we get a minus 2x cubed, right? So it can only be minus 6x cubed, like so, right? So if you have minus 6x cubed, so we divide minus 6x cubed by 2x squared, you get therefore minus 3x, right? So if you multiply 2x squared by minus 3x, you get minus 6x cubed. X by minus 3x, you get minus 3x squared. Now, minus 3 times minus 3x, you get 9x, like so. Now, the next thing that we do here, we proceed as follows. Right, so we further perform division here. Now, we look at the diagonal entries once more. At this point, we're looking at the quadratic terms diagonally here, because why do we have to look at the quadratic terms? These are in descending powers. So if you look, this is the fourth power, the third power, and the second power. The third power, the second power, and the first power, so they always decrease by 1. But also here is the fourth power, the third power, so here we need a quadratic. So now the quadratic terms must add up to minus x squared. So we have minus 12x squared minus 3x squared, which is minus 15x squared. And therefore, we must add 14x squared. Because minus 15x squared minus 14x squared is minus x squared. We divide 14x squared by 2x squared, we get a 7. Right, we get a 7. So 2x squared by 7 is 14x squared, but also x by 7 is exactly 7x, like so. Minus 3 by 7 is minus 21. Okay, we are happy. We have this. Now, let's consider the following. Okay, we have that the terms now are reducing in that manner. Okay, in the degrees, because it's the fourth power, the third power, the second power. We expect here the first power. So for the first power now, the first power terms or the linear terms must add up to x. The terms of power, the axis of power 1 must add up to x. So we have 9 and 7. What is it? Okay, it's exactly 16x. Right, so we have minus 15. Minus 15x. So that in the end, what we're getting here with the minus 15x, this becomes therefore the remainder box. Why is it the remainder box? Because if we are to consider that we are dividing x to the fourth power by x squared, we're getting x squared, and therefore x squared is quadratic. The quadratic expression is exactly ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, if this is the case, it means therefore we need a column for the ax squared, a column for the bx, a column for the c, and therefore the other column is the remainder column. Okay, good. We're good. Next, what we consider furthermore is the fact, therefore, that we also have a constant term here. Okay, we have dealt with the linear term, but we also have a constant term here. So what do we add to minus 21 so that we get a 2? We can only add 23 because 23 minus 21 is 2. So that now in the end, if you divide these two polynomials, the quotient is 4x squared minus 3x plus 7. Now, the remainder is what? The remainder is minus 15x plus 23. You divide everything by the following, okay? You divide everything by the following. You divide everything by the following. So you divide by the divisor. What is the divisor? It is exactly twice x squared plus x minus 3. Okay, so this is what we have. So in other words, when we divide the polynomials like this, you get 4x squared minus 3x plus 7 plus the minus 15x plus 23 over 2x squared plus x minus 3. And therefore, this is sort of the result you're getting. And we are actually done with this question using the box method of division. Next problem. Okay, now at this point, we're excited to have to divide a 50-degree polynomial 6x to the 5th power minus 2x to the 4th power minus x cubed plus x minus 2 divided by 3x cubed plus 2. And therefore, a couple of things are always extremely important here, and it is to drop into this block here of the box 6x to the 5th power. And then now we need to consider the fact that we are dividing x to the 5th power by x cubed to get quadratic, which is x squared plus bx plus c, and therefore this one is the remainder block, right? So, but also this one in the decreasing powers and descending powers of x. So we're going to have like 3x cubed here. We're going to have here 0x squared. We're going to have here 0x. We're going to have here 2, for example, so that at this point, if you divide 6x to the 5th power by 3x squared, we're getting twice x squared. Twice x squared. So if you're multiplying here 3x cubed by twice x squared, we have 6x to the 5th power. 0x squared by 2x squared becomes 0x to the 4th power. Now 0x by 2x squared becomes 0x cubed. Okay, 2 by 4x squared becomes 4x squared. Okay, now a couple of things therefore are extremely important. If you look at the fact that the diagonal entries for the 4th degree term, 0x to the 4th power, will have to add to minus 2x to the 4th power, so that at this point, what do we add? We need to add or subtract the 2x to the 4th power. So in other words, it is 0x to the 4th power minus 2x to the 4th power. That will give us minus 2x to the 4th power. We divide furthermore minus 2x to the 4th power by 3x cubed, and the result is minus 2 out of 3x. You multiply accordingly here with ease if you to check. Obviously, we perform multiplication, it's necessary. So if you multiply 3x cubed by minus 2 over 3x, you get minus 2x to the 4th power. You multiply 0x squared by minus 2 over 3x, you get 0x cubed. You multiply 0x by this, you get 0x squared. You multiply 2 by that, you get minus 4 over 3x. Right, multiply this by that, you get minus 4 over 3x. Next thing we're going to do here is to further analyze this and understand that now these are it's the 5th degree term, 6x to the 5th power, x to the 4th power. We need here a cubic term of the 3rd degree. So if you look at this one is 0x cubed and this is 0x cubed. So at this point, what do we need here? We need minus x cubed. So that in the end, then if this is minus x cubed, what then do we have? So we need to divide minus x cubed by 3x cubed. We have minus 1 over 3, just that way, minus 1 over 3. That's minus 1/3, okay? Right, so if you have exactly minus 1/3, we have the following. So it's minus 1/3. So if you multiply 3x cubed by minus 1/3, you get minus x cubed, okay? 0x squared by minus 1/3 is exactly 0x squared, okay? 0x by minus 1/3 is 0x, okay? Now we also have the following. If you have 2 by minus 1/3 is minus 2/3. Minus 2/3. Okay, so we have this. All right. So now the couple of things are key that are key here that are extremely important for us. So we have to the power 5 to the power 4, a reduction by 1 to the power 3. Here we need to the power 2. So now we add all these to the power 2 terms, which is 4x squared plus 0x squared plus 0x squared, which is 4x squared. But the quadratic terms now, there's no quadratic term in the numerator. There's no term of there's no x squared term here, no x squared. Okay, so no x squared term, so which means therefore here it can only be minus 4x squared. Why? Because 4x squared minus 4x squared will actually give 0x squared because we have 0x squared here. So, okay, the x squared terms have been taken care of. Let's look at the linear terms, the x terms. We have minus 4 over 3 here. So we have exactly minus 4 over 3. Right, so having minus 4 over 3, what do we note? Okay, so we have exactly minus 4 over 3. We have minus 2 over 3. Okay, so if we have and minus 4 over 3 for the x's, minus 4 over 3x and the 0x, okay? So now, a couple of things, therefore, are very important. If we want to get an x, what do we do? What can we add to this here so that we get an x? So we can only add a 7 over 3x, a 7 over 3x. So that's what we get here. So we get here a 7 over 3x. So that 7 minus 4 is exactly 3 over 3, which is exactly an x. Okay, right, so we're good. Now, next, we consider in the remainder block the constant terms, because we have a minus 2 here. So these constant terms diagonally must add up to minus 2. What do you add? What can you add to minus 2 over 3 to get minus 2? So we can only add a minus 4 over 3. A minus 4 over 3. So this is minus 6 over 3. So minus 6 over 3, which is minus 2. Okay. So as a consequence, we are done with this. And therefore, if you divide these two polynomials, the quotient is what sits at the top is the 2x squared minus, so we write here 2x squared. Right, so we write here 2x squared minus 2 over 3x minus 1 over 3, okay? And now we add to this. What do we add to this? So we add to this the remainder, okay? So the remainder is actually minus 4x squared, okay? Let's write clearly here. So we have exactly minus 4x squared. We have minus 4x squared plus 7 over 3x minus 4 over 3 divided by 3x cubed plus 2. Okay, so now what we then have here is, if you perform this division, then the result is minus 4x squared plus 7 over 3x minus 4 over 3 divided by 3x cubed plus 2. So this is the answer. And we have performed the division and we are done with the division here. And anything else? So this was our last example for today. So thanks a lot, and goodbye to you. Goodbye to you.